Hi guys, this is John from Twirled and Twisted. As you'll be aware, there's been quite a hiatus on my channel and I've not uploaded anything for probably 8 or 9 months now. That all will be explained in due course, but I'm not going to be addressing that in this video. A couple of things have been filmed during the time that I've been off, so I'm going to be working through those, finishing them off and uploading those before I actually get to any of the new stuff. All you need to know for the time being is that I am back, I am working on stuff again, and so you will be getting uploads as and when they come. So now that that's out of the way with, I'm going to start with one of the things I actually filmed way back, probably around March, April time. I'd had a lot of questions of people asking me how I'd come across paper quilling and how I'd sort of developed my skill at it, so I thought I would share sort of like the story of how that came to be. So as anybody with children will know, and if you remember being a child yourself, we love to draw and create and make a big colourful mess. Like, it's just something that's innate in us. We enjoy playing and exploring with new medias. I think it's like a universal enjoyment for children, and it's just so much freedom and expression because it's before your mind is clouded with what is good, what is bad, what's expected of you, what will people think. Like, before any of that, it's just pure freedom. So we all love it, and I was no different. I love to draw, I love to paint. I mean, ideas are never very original of children. Here's a house! We've all done that. We've all drawn a house that looks nothing like our own. It's just a square with a triangle roof on its own. That was me. And during primary school, that's how it was. You kind of go backwards, I think, in primary school or elementary school, whatever it's called where you're from. I feel like you go backwards because in the beginning you'd like to paint nice and big and colourful, and then as you get a bit older you kind of condense and everything gets really tiny, you can't really see anything. And then getting to high school is always quite exciting because you have specialised subjects and specialised teachers who kind of know their subject inside out. And so it was going to be the first time in my life that I was going to have timetabled art lessons. And I was so eager to learn. And my high school was known as an arts college. So they were supposed to be really strong when it came to sort of like the arts department. Unfortunately, it didn't quite go the way I imagined it would be. So, I mean, the school was fantastic. Drawing with graphite, coloured pencils, watercolour, acrylic, oil pastel, clay modelling, mud rock sculptures, willow withies. So many different things, even down to sort of like photography and photo editing and 3D design and textiles. There was just so much going on, and it was brilliant to be able to try all those things, but I never really got any media and sort of learned to draw really well with it. It was always just try this, and I didn't really get very good at anything. So then between the ages of 16 and 18 in the UK we go to college. It's where you do your A-levels, and because I didn't really know what career I was aiming for, I decided to just pick some subjects that I thought I might enjoy, and obviously one of them for me was going to be art. In my art lessons at A-level, in the beginning they all kind of followed the same format, so we'd go in, there'd be like a media of the day, so whether we were using pencil or paint or sticks, yeah, little sticks with like pots of ink, whatever it was, we would go in and everybody would have to make an observational drawing using that media, meaning we would be given an object to look at and we would draw it as best as we could in that media. So I'd set to work doing the best I could, and in this example I'm going to show you some watercolour. It's not a particular strength of mine, it's just something that I've used in lessons, and we did a lot of natural form. So for this example I'm going to demonstrate drawing a bouquet of flowers. So I'd start working and I'd do the best that I could. I would try my utmost to get as good a result as possible, bearing in mind that I've never really developed any particular skills with any media, really. So the first thing that would kind of become noticeable to me during these lessons is the fact that I was a lot slower than everybody else. So I could kind of glance around and always see that my classmates were a lot further on in their drawings than I was. The second thing that I noticed was that everyone seemed to be so much better than me. Like, I'd only had little experiments with mediums before, so my skill level was not going to be particularly developed. They were in early stages, very raw stages. Like, everyone had clearly developed their styles and refined their skills so much more before A-level. So compared to them, I always felt like my work looked like a child's work. So the fantastic idea at the end of all these lessons that we would all sit in a big circle and we'd put all of our work on the floor in the middle of this circle. So I'd place my child basic like drawing next to all these masterpieces, it felt like, and I always felt a bit embarrassed sort of like putting my work next to all these amazing drawings and things. And then came the best part of the lesson. We would each take it in turns to choose somebody else's work and tell them what we liked about it and what they've done really well. Which sounds amazing in theory, like getting this feedback from your peers. Like, it'd be a real confidence boost for you, and maybe you'd believe it more because it's coming from a friend and not from a teacher. But that only works if yours is picked out. So for me, I would just sit there and watch all my classmates kind of compliment each other's work, and rightly so, they did deserve it, they were amazing, but mine just sat looking sad on the floor and no one really commented on it. It was never really mentioned, so no good comments or bad comments, it was just there. Sob story aside, the point I'm trying to make is that my skills were of a lower standard. Like, I could do it and it looked okay, but they just weren't as developed as the peers around me. But months and months down the line, it was getting time to where we would create our final piece, like the piece that would be showcased in the gallery of all art students in the college. Mine was going to have to be something that I made, something 3D, something tangible that you could touch, and it was going to look different than a traditional drawing or painting. So my theme was fairy tales. So I chose to have a large tree branch, because there's lots of forests in fairy tales, and I was going to hang objects from the branch that would represent different fairy tales. So there'd be a bitten apple for Snow White, a rose, a wilted rose for Beauty and the Beast, teacups and saucers from Alice in Wonderland, like that kind of thing, just all different objects hung off this branch. So I was out shopping one day and I was trying to find objects that I could kind of use, and I stopped by this really small art shop that I had no idea that it even existed. I'd never been in there before, but I don't know, I thought I'd have a look and see if they had anything of interest. So inside I found I put it in a safe place and I don't know where it is. But they kind of had a Quilt Creations kit. It was sort of like a little booklet, and it came with a pack of strips that told you how to make something with quilling. The one I actually found was for chess pieces. I thought that would be brilliant to use because of the chess land that is Alice Through the Looking Glass. So I thought it would be brilliant to do, and there'd be something on the branch that I had made. So I bought the kit. It does mention, like on this one, it does say sort of like it recommends like the slotted quilling tool and things like that. I didn't know what that was. I'd never seen it before. Now I didn't have it. So I literally had to take a strip and really try and just roll it between my fingers. And it was doable. It was doable, and I actually made them, but the pieces were only probably like this big. They were very tiny and very basic, but they did look good because something that small looks quite detailed. So I did the whole set, both black and white chess pieces, all, is it 32? 32 chess pieces on a board? 16 of each? I think so. I think there's 32 pieces, but anyway, however many there are, I did them all, okay? And I took them into college to show my tutor, and I was amazed that everyone looked impressed and surprised, and it was quite a new feeling for me. Like they couldn't believe that I'd made these things out of paper, and it was like the first time I'd really got positive attention for some kind of art or craft, and it made me feel really proud of them. So I had this like burst of enthusiasm. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna buy loads of stuff. I went online and I got lots of packs of the quilling paper, and I bought the slotted tool now that I knew what it was and what it was for. So back in the art class a little bit later on, it was time to make our final piece, the one that we were actually going to be examined on and externally marked on. I spoke to my tutor and I told him how much I'd enjoyed the quilling that I'd done. I wanted to make something that was all from me. I wanted to design it and make it all myself, something nobody else has done. Please, please, please let me do this. So my tutor's response was, oh no, you've peaked. I don't think you'll make anything that's worthwhile or worth your effort. I could have understood if he said it was a bit too much of a risk because I was so new at it, but no, he told me that I would never make anything worthwhile. Just let that sink in. Somebody who is paid to teach and encourage students to pursue art told me not to bother because it wasn't worthwhile. So my bubble of enthusiasm burst. Right then and there, all motivation for my art course, it just dropped. I did the bare minimum from that point on, and all those lovely quilling supplies that I had bought got shoved in a drawer, still in the packaging, out of sight, out of mind. That's where they stayed. I did not even open them. So about 6 months after that point, I'd finished A-levels, I was on a completely different course. I was just cleaning up one day and I happened to open a drawer that I didn't go in very often, and I found like a package, like one of those really big jiffy bags. I opened it up and I saw all these bright coloured papers and tools, and I couldn't help but smile to myself. But then when I was looking at it, I had like a flash of my tutor, and I just reheard his voice in the back of my head. But I felt differently about it this time. I just thought, you know what? I'm gonna have a go. I enjoyed it the first time, so let's just see what happens. But before you can make something, you kind of have to decide what you're gonna make. And just this one day I had kind of like this vision, epiphany, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I could just see, it was like watching a video in my mind. Like I knew exactly how I wanted to make Princess Belle. I was so excited to try and replicate what I'd imagined in my head, and she turned out like this. This is the first ever quilled princess. Now, if you've seen my Belle video, you can see that she looks quite a bit different than she does on there, but this was my first ever attempt. It's not just, like, this is not just my first attempt at Belle, this was my first attempt ever at creating a princess, like something of my own design following no instructions. I thought for a first attempt, that looked good. Like I said, I'd returned to college, I was on a different course. I brought her in. I just thought, I'll show them what I've decided to do in my spare time, this newfound hobby that I think I might have. And the reactions I got were amazing. Like, I can't express how delighted and proud I was in those moments. Like, family, friends, strangers, tutors, everybody, they complimented my work. They couldn't believe that it was all paper and the detail, and they'd just never seen anything like it before. And I kind of felt like I'd finally found something that I might really be good at. And so I decided to continue. I decided to try new characters and improve my methods and add little details like glitter and gems and things, and just try and push the standard of my art a bit higher. So I still consider myself to be in the beginning stages of paper quilling. Like, I don't feel like I'm advanced in the art form. Like, I just feel like it feels like a natural ability for me. Like, it comes quite easily. I'm hoping in the future that I can push the boundaries and improve and get better and try bigger and more exciting projects. But yes, I do feel like I finally found the art form that's for me. That's kind of the message that I'd like to pass on to my viewers. It's just to try different things, try anything and everything until you find the one that feels like a good fit. I was worried that I couldn't draw very well, that I couldn't paint well enough to match up with my peers, but this is something I could do that none of them had ever tried. It's never too late to find something you're good at. I've had people tell me they are not artistic in any way, and if I ask them why, they tell me that they can't draw. That's 99% of the time their response is, I can't draw. It's not the only art form. There is lots of different things you can try. The other message I'd like to pass on to my viewers is to not let anybody tell you you can't do something. That tutor I had told me I would never quill anything worthwhile. Now, at the time of filming this, my bell video has 1.8 million views. So I must be doing something right. It must be good enough to draw that attention. And I've said this to you guys before, how much I appreciate every like, every comment, every subscriber, how much of a boost that is to me. And now you know why, because I was told I was no good at it and that it wasn't worthwhile pursuing. But every single one of you that has liked or watched or subscribed has told me differently. You said, you know what, you're good at this. I want to see more. And there is no greater feeling than that. Because it feels like every future like, comment, subscribe, all of those are just proving my tutor wrong. Like, it is so satisfying to just ignore what he said and prove him wrong. And you guys should do that too. If someone tells you that you can't do something that you enjoy, prove them wrong, because if you enjoy something, chances are you have the potential to be great at it. In fact, no, not great, you have the potential to be amazing at it. That's all I'd like to really say today. That's how I discovered quilling, and that is what's been pushing me to try it and upload it to YouTube. And I'd like it to continue, and I'd like you guys to share it with me. If you make something, to tag me in it on Instagram or Twitter or somewhere like that. If we can encourage each other and push the boundaries of each other, push each other further to get better and better and better, there's no stopping us. We'll be amazing. Things will only improve if we try to push them. And that's what I'd like to do with this channel. And if you'd like to help me with that, then please give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, watch future videos, share it with anyone who might be interested, all that kind of stuff. Let's grow this community together. So, thank you very much for watching this ranty video. I love all of you for coming to me and supporting me. It's well, you know how much it means to me now, so thank you. And I will see you next time.